Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved and wonderful Star Wars dad, Newt's Too Good, and very recently we discussed the order you should farm your galactic legends in, and today we take that same topic, and today we take that same topic. Oh, I'm not cutting that up. It's too early. It's too early. I can't go back and edit all this stuff you guys want me to edit, and I don't think you do. I think you want to watch me be imperfectly perfect as your Star Wars dad. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we have a video. We're recording a video. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. We're recording a video. Now we're taking that topic to our capital ships. In what order should you farm your capital ships with a heavy focus on Leviathan, Executor, and Profundity along the way? Let's break this down and jump into it. I got three very, very easy ones for you. Three very, very easy ones for you. Let's start off with my favorite ship in the game, the Executor. It's the first capital ship you should really focus on farming. I know there's the three basic ones that you opened up before that. Yeah. All those are done with the Executor in mind. And yes, there are Galactic Republic fleets. This is gonna be a long one, boys. I'm gonna like stutter over everything, so we say it all twice and we make it a super long video for you guys. Make sure to tune into the end. Special announcement. I'm sorry. This is we're on one, boys and girls. Anyway, hey. Every ship that you farm before Executor is farming your way to Executor. That's how I really feel about it. You can farm some Galactic Republic fleets early on to work with Endurance, and they can work just fine for you. They can actually work very well for you until you get Negotiator, and that can work very well with you while you get Marauder, and that can work very well with you. But it's all not leading you to the right place, and it's all going to fade as soon as people get Executors around you. And that's why your first capital ship you're going to farm after is going to be the Executor in your perfect farming world and farming path. I believe the Executor is the very first big farm that anybody should be working toward on their roster. Anybody who's everybody, work toward the Executor, get it done, get the Executor on your roster. That's one easy thing. Two more easy things for us. The Raddus, you just wait until you farm Rey, and that's when you get the Raddus. The Finalizer, you just wait until you farm Kylo, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and that's when you get the Finalizer. For a long time in the game, for years actually, well, 2 or 3 years, a couple of years, whatever it was, the Finalizer was actually a known and viable counter to the Executor. I use it all the time in Grand Arena. And then the Punishing one came out, and that all went bye-bye. It's gone. So no longer are the days here of farming the Finalizer and then getting it up and really using it. A Finalizer for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Raddus for Executor. That's my first three. They're simple, they're easy, let's knock them out. Farm Executor before anything else, any other big farm in the game. Raddus only for Rey, Finalizer only for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. We got it? We're good? Okay, let's talk about these first three ships. You're given the Endurance, the Home One, and the Executrix. Let's rank all these in order of importance and what order should you farm them. I do believe the Endurance is the first out of these three ships that you should really work on getting up and running. Yeah, you want to have a decent and good Mace Windu on the account to run the Endurance. I am hesitant. I'm hesitant to invest in any of these abilities down here. I do think this one is the really important one where you gain a bunch of protection up and everything else. And generally speaking, the Endurance is just a placeholder until you get Negotiator. However, we've seen some recent machinations in the game where the Endurance with some Galactic Republic ships can counter the Executor in game. It can be done. It is a goofy little formation. I think you have to have Rex's ship, which is not a common farm, nor is it an easy farm. So regardless of that, I'm going to say the Endurance, out of Endurance, Home 1, and Executrix, it's going to be farm the Endurance. I think probably the Endurance alongside the Executor would be the very first couple of ships that you really put some weight into. Make sure that if you're farming Endurance or Home 1 or Executrix, whatever, that you're saving enough of these, I know I'm getting off track here, but save enough of the prestige so when you get the Executor unlocked, you can upgrade all the abilities. Don't just spend it all on Endurance or Executrix or Home 1. So I think you farm the Endurance, I think you farm the Executor. These be the first two ships you're working toward. I wouldn't be bothered if you're farming Executrix instead of Endurance. Executrix is still really effective. It works with your with your Empire ships. Either way, I think that Executrix and Endurance will work equally well with your slate of Bounty Hunter ships that you're farming to get Executor. To get Executor, you need the Houndstooth, you need Cad Bane's Xanadu Blood, and you need the Slave 1. You also are going to need IG 2000 and the Razor Crest, and you need to get the Punishing One to really make it work, right? That's 6 Bounty Hunter ships that you're going to be farming while you're working on Executor. You're going to throw them either into an Endurance fleet or an Executrix fleet. And yeah, if you're farming Endurance, maybe you'll go and grab a few of these Galactic Republic ships like Anakin's Edit 2 Starfighter, Plo Koon Starfighter, Ahsoka Starfighter is very easy to get. Maybe you get these 3, you farm Clone Sergeant possibly as your opening fleet with Endurance. That becomes your secondary fleet to your Bounty Hunter fleet that you're running with Executrix. Then you get the Executor unlocked, and that becomes your main. So what I would probably look at here is Endurance and Executor as your first 2 big, leveled up and working capital ships with a little Executrix on the side, perhaps. And the reason I think that Endurance takes its place over Executrix here also is Executrix works with your Empire ships, but really Executrix, once you get Executor, it loses all those Bounty Hunter ships. Then you can use the Geo ships with the Executrix, but then once you get the Malevolence, the Geo ships go with that. Then you can use some of your Empire fleets ships with it, but once you get the Chimera, that goes away. Then maybe people are dropping, I'm telling you, the Executrix is kind of a fill-in for all 4 of these ships right here, where the Endurance is only filling in for a Negotiator. So I'm going with Endurance, Executor, and a little Executrix on the side on your way up the ladder. Home 1, I'm just leaving it. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you guys love Home 1. I really, really do. And I guess if you decide to farm Profundity early on, Home 1 will do some good for you while you get those Rebel ships up and running. I just don't think that's the right way to farm the game. You can do it. It's just, I have to tell you, see, here's the thing. In this game, you can farm whatever you want, right? You really, really can. You can go get Home 1 with all the Rebel ships early on if you want to do that, and that's more power to you. You build your roster. I'm here to tell you the best way to do it. That's not the best way to do it. Sorry, everybody. Yell at me in the comments if you want. I can take it. I'm a big boy. That covers our 3 initial ships, our ships that are just for a couple Galactic Legends and Rey and Kylo and the Executor. What about the rest of these bad boys? Well, let's talk about Negotiator and Malevolence, because these 2 ships kind of go side by side because the same currency is required to unlock both of them. That aside, we know you can get the Negotiator unlocked and fully upgraded with the gas bundle, the General Skywalker bundle, whenever it comes out. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for a Negotiator. That's one way to do it. Just buy the gas bundle, boom, Negotiator, and lots of ships to go with it, and you're in good shape. But if we're looking at what I just mentioned as my early farming path, with Endurance there with Executor, well, your Endurance can cover those Galactic Republic ships, right? For a while. So I think if you're doing it that way and you're not buying the bundle, I believe you should farm the Malevolence as your first ship with your Get To currency. What do I mean by that? Let's go look at the shops, because I want to be clear as to what we mean by that. In the Guild Events store, right here, Guild Events, you have your Get To currency, Mark II Guild Event tokens, GET Get To tokens that you get from doing Geonosis territory battles or Rise of the Empire territory battles. And the first 2 things you should spend those on before you buy anything else are the Malevolence and the Negotiator, or the Negotiator and the Malevolence. One or the other, back and forth, one this way, that. Well, until you have both these 7 stars, this currency should be spent on nothing else in this game. Period. I don't care if you buy the gas bundle, get Negotiator, then you farm Malevolence. Maybe there's a Malevolence bundle later this year. I'm sure there will be. Until you get both these at 7 stars, you only spend your Get To currency on these 2 ships. Got it? Good. Let's get back into our ships here. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to farm up the Endurance on your way toward Executor with the Executrix on the side, Malevolence should be your first capital ship, and you'll have to go get those Separatist ships to go with it. There's only 5 Separatist ships in the game. You'll need all of them for this fleet to work. But I think that should be your next farm alongside those. Then you're going to bring in Negotiator along the way, because generally speaking, Negotiator is going to upgrade your Galactic Republic fleet, aside from some very specific fleets used in the late game to counter some Executors with Endurance. I get it. Again, giving people a direction to pass. So far my order of farming would be Endurance, Executrix on the side, on your way toward Executor, get your Malevolence, and when that's done at 7 stars, get your Negotiator. All right? And Radisson Finalizer as needed. Home 1, forget about it. Don't worry. You got to get 7 stars to get some, some of your ability stuff done, but whatever. Yeah. Chimera, Leviathan, Profundity. These are 3 very important ships in the game. What are we farming next? Well, here's what I generally say to people. Here's what I generally tell people about Leviathan. When you start doing proving grounds, I want you to pay attention, pay attention to proving grounds as you unlock 2 requirements for the Leviathan, Darth Malgus, and the Fury Class Interceptor. Going to be unlocking Darth Malgus and the Fury Class Interceptor in proving grounds. If you don't buy the Conquest bundles, then you're looking at Conquest Pass, sorry. You're looking at 20 shards a month into 330 shards. It's about, I've done this math before, 130, so 140. 20 into that, 20 into 330, it's gonna go 140, 20 into 140, 17 months. So about a year and a half is what's gonna take you. If you buy the Conquest passes, you're gonna get unlocked in, well, that's 18 months, in like 9 months. So keep that in mind, either 9 months or a year and a half into getting Darth Malgus and the Fury Class Interceptor. Now, those are not guaranteed. They're tougher proving grounds, but probably if you're there, you can get them done, right? So you want to target that out, and as you know you're about 6 months out from getting Malgus and the Fury Class Interceptor, you want to start farming up these Sith ships on your roster. So that's where I look at Leviathan, and I think it is the next most important. I look at it like, as soon as you can get Leviathan on your roster, the same way as soon as you can get Executor on your roster, get Executor on your roster. As soon as you can get Leviathan on your roster, get Leviathan on your roster. You need to plan it out. Within 6 months of getting Malgus and Fury Class, start farming those Sith ships. A couple months before you get them unlocked, start saving up gear and get ready for it, and then just go get the Leviathan unlocked. Get it to 7 stars as soon as possible. That leaves us with Chimera and Profundity. Chimera is going to be a little silly here, sorry. Chimera is going to be kind of an as-you-go kind of farm. You're unlocking pieces for a Chimera as you go. You want a nice, solid, great Empire fleet with it. There are a lot of pieces to that Empire fleet, and let's talk about those pieces. First of all, you have to farm the Phoenix ships in order to unlock Chimera. So if you're going to unlock Chimera, you got to get the Phantom and Ghost to 7 stars. If you buy the Shadows of the Empire Lightspeed bundle, you'll get these guys at 7 stars. You'll be basically ready to unlock. I think you also get Biggs and Wedge. I think you can go get the Chimera at that point. Your initial Chimera fleet is going to consist basically of Imperial TIE Bomber, TIE Advanced, and TIE Fighter, because these 3 ships are required for the Executor. You've already farmed these ships to get the Executor unlocked. So Chimera with those 3 ships. Is that super duper effective? Is it going to take you a long way in the game? No, it's going to give you some weapons. If you're farming a ship along the way that would be pretty easy to farm with Garsax and Imperial Super Commando, which are starting to eke their way into my early game farming. I really like them, and I probably neglected them over time. That's my fault. That Gauntlet Starfighter is a really nice farm. It brings in protection recovery off the bench and more when it's on the field as well. So I like that ship out there. The next 3 ships that really round out this fleet are TIE Defender, TIE Interceptor, and Scythe. And these are all some pretty significant journeys. TIE Interceptor, much like the Darth Malgus and the Fury Class Interceptor, is going to be through Proving Grounds. It's one of the harder Proving Grounds levels. So again, keep an eye on that. You're going to want that to be in your Chimera fleet, but you're looking at being somewhere around 7 or 8 million galactic power before you get it to 7 stars. So that's something to keep in mind. TIE Defender you can farm early on. Now you may have to go out a little bit out of your way and get Iden Versio unlocked. So TIE Defender can be farmed early on. It's a great ship. And if you take TIE Bomber, TIE Advanced, and TIE Fighter, and TIE Defender, and take them out there, you could do some work in the early to mid game. You really, really can with just those ships, and then later on bring in Interceptor, and then later on bring in Scythe. Because for Scythe, you need Grand Inquisitor, which means you need all the Inquisitors to unlock Grand Inquisitor, and all the Inquisitors cost you a lot of Kyber. It's expensive unless you buy the Inquisitor bundle, and Scythe is another Proving Grounds unlock, so you gotta time it out. That's why I say the Chimera is kind of maybe your work in progress fleet. While you're working on all this other stuff, you're kind of bringing in, you're layering in TIE Defender, and then you bring in the TIE Interceptor, then you bring in the Scythe. You're layering in the pieces of Chimera as you go to give you something useful early on and to give you something kind of a banger later on, kind of a banger, doing some really good work. So that's my thoughts on Chimera. I'm not going to put it at a spot. It's probably falling somewhere in the range of a complete fleet, somewhere in the range of Leviathan, because again, Proving Grounds for both of Proving Grounds gets you 2 ships or 2 requirements for each of these Leviathan and Chimera fleets to come together. So that's why I kind of put them in the same ballpark. You're probably going to get them around the 7 to 8 million mark. So start thinking about it when you get Proving Grounds unlocked. And that leaves little old Profundity for us. I think once you're done with everything else, you get Profundity. Now, will Profundity get a lifter this year at some point? My money's on yes. If I had to give you $10 on a yes or no, I'd lay it on yes. I'm not a betting man these days. Never really been that big of a betting man. I've done some small stuff, more like just for gaming, but that's a side topic. I don't know. My guess is Profundity gets a lifter later this year. B-Wings, A-Wings, Red 5s, Red Leader. I don't know. I think it'll get a lifter because Executor and Punishing One kind of pushed it to the background. With that said, when they give it a lifter, they're not going to want to beat Leviathan. It's just tricky. These fleets are really tricky for Capital Games, and they struggle with them. Whenever you watch them unleash one of these or unveil one of these big fleets, they have to rework it multiple times to get to work, and then down the road they got to rework it again. It's kind of messy. Fleets are messy for Capital Games. Trust me, the devs don't like these things. I don't know. I haven't talked to them, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I think Profundity is going to be at the end after you get everything else unlocked. So what does our order look like if we really break it down? We're talking about Endurance and Executrix on your way toward Executor. You're going to get Radis and Finalizer as needed. We're not going to worry about Home 1. Just get it as it comes. Then we're going to be farming for Malevolence and getting that fleet up and running. And after that's done, we're going to get Negotiator. When we start getting Proving Grounds unlocked, start thinking about Leviathan and make sure you time it out so you're ready to unlock Leviathan. Chimera is going to have the same story to it, just kind of a not quite as good of a story, but a very similar story along the way. And then when all that's done, you're gonna go grab your Profundity, get your Ad-Red team, and get it done. And there you go. That's the order to farm the capital ships in. Go ahead and argue with me in comments. I welcome it. We welcome the turmoil here, the tumult and turmoil here on Nooch Too Good Industries. Everybody, I do hope you have a great day. I hope this has been helpful to you. I love the discussion. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. And of course, always remember, Nooch Too Good.